Hi everybody, I am back after a 2-month hiatus, I think. It's taken me a while to come and give an update just because I've been in the newborn trenches. For those people, I don't know if you ever see these videos, but if you ever saw those videos, or like they probably come up on your short feed, of like these postpartum women who are like, oh, I just had a baby, and like they have like their camera all set up all nice, and like they're doing all these like cuts of like the bassinet, and everything looks all clean and organized, and they're dressed to the nines. They have all these like baby products. Like, I feel like those videos are staged and fake. Like, did those women even have babies? Because I barely brushed my hair the first couple weeks. I don't understand it. And we had a very difficult birth experience, I want to say. The way everything happened, that it made the newborn stage initially really tough. Just the way everything happened. So just to give like a quick, as quick as I can, summary of the chaos that was birth. I do understand that, how can I put this? It could have been a lot worse. I understand that. Like, I know some people have a lot more traumatic birth story than I do, which I'm grateful it wasn't that bad for me. I don't know how to put this. I don't want to say that like I'm traumatized by my birth experience, because I'm not. It just didn't go as planned, and because of it not going as planned, kind of even my postpartum got like messed up. So basically, I also want to say this. Don't take what I say with this as like a way to judge what your experience is going to be. One of the things I regret doing is getting a doula. I highly regret it. I think it was very expensive and like didn't do me any good. It doesn't mean that would be the case for you, but it was the case for me. I feel like she gave me advice that was not appropriate for me, which made things a little bit more difficult. And I just don't really feel like she was very, I mean, she was a really great person, but I don't think she was like valuable to everything that happened. So basically I was due March 18th. And when I went in for my last appointment for 40 weeks, my doctor wanted to set an induction date for 41 weeks because of my age, which I know is stupid. They don't really let you go past 41 weeks. But for some reason, when she wanted to set that induction date, it gave me all sorts of anxiety, because it was like the first glimpse of like things might not go the way I wanted them to go. Like, I was expecting to go to labor naturally. Part of me thought I'd go early. It was just like setting that induction date of March 25th was putting into stone kind of that like things might not go as expected. And my doctor also had a vacation plan like a long time ahead. So she was like, do you want to get induced at 39 weeks? That way we can, you know, I can deliver your baby. And I was like, no, I want to go into labor naturally, so don't worry about it. So anyway, I did everything I possibly could to induce labor naturally, and nothing worked. And like I said, I don't really feel like my doula was worth the money, because I feel like she was a good person, but I feel like she was imposing like what her beliefs and her ideals and like onto me. Like, yes, I would ideally wanted an unmedicated birth, but I went into it with the mindset of I'm fine with anything. Like, I never gave birth before. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm gonna want in the moment. I don't know if I'm gonna want an epidural. I don't know if I'll be fine with that one, but it didn't matter to me if I wanted one or not. Like, but she was one of those people who was like headstrong on, like, I could tell her own viewpoints was against it. Also, my doctor wanted to not let me go past 41 weeks because of my age, and that's just what they do things. So I know some people are very headstrong on letting things happen naturally, and the doula was completely against induction. But the thing is like, for me, right, the induction, I would rather be induced and have interventions than have anything happen to my baby, especially because this was a rainbow baby after losing my last one. So like, I didn't even feel comfortable going past 41 weeks. But anyway, what ended up happening was I ended up on Sunday, the Sunday before March 25th, which was a Tuesday, that night. So I guess it was like Sunday going into Monday, I went to early labor, where I was starting to time my contractions. and they were completely fine. Like they were not painful. It was like period cramps, but the problem was is they definitely kept me up all night, because imagine just having like bad period cramps all night. Like it kept me up all night. So I didn't get any sleep Sunday night. Then Monday they continued during the day, and part of me was wondering, like, should I be going to the hospital because I am in early labor? Now I kind of wish I did, because it would have pushed things along. It would have been easier for me. No one wants to go into active labor with no sleep. So all day Monday, still in early labor. My doula told me not to go to the hospital. She was like, just work it out at home. And I think she was expecting it to progress. And then Monday night, up all night again, because still I was having contractions all night, but it was nothing I couldn't handle. So it was like Sunday, which turned into Monday, and then Monday, which turned into Tuesday. So by the time I was supposed to go to the hospital Tuesday morning, what was crazy is my contractions completely stopped then. And I don't know if it's because I was so tired from being up like for 48 hours, but on the way to the hospital, like I was like, I have no contractions, everything stopped. So I go in and I'm supposed to start the Pitocin, everything like that. And even with the Pitocin, it just like wasn't carrying on, it wasn't starting. But then eventually what happened is this new doctor who I'd never met before, who was replacing my doctor, was on vacation, came in to do a cervical check. And when I tell you this was a violation, this was a violation. I had cervical checks before and they were never ever ever painful. They were completely fine. When she stuck her fingers inside, she even said, I'm gonna be mean right now. And I guess she said she was trying to stretch me to a 4, because I was like 3 centimeters dilated. So she was trying to stretch me, but like it hurt so bad. I was like clenching. It went on for like a minute, and then she popped my water, which was on my birth plan that I did not want to happen. I wanted it to pop naturally. So that was the first thing. So after that, my trust in like her kind of went way down, and I wasn't sure if I wanted an epidural or not. But let me tell you, after having no sleep for over 48 hours and being on Pitocin, I was like, I want an epidural. Problem is I asked for it a little bit too late. Like, not for me, but like by the time I asked for it, the anesthesiologist was busy with all these other people. There were so many other women giving birth that night, the same night. So I had to wait for it until like, I think it was like 8 o'clock at night by the time I got it. And at this point I was like starting to like really, you know, get into labor. So it was very, very, very hard to stay still, which was giving me a lot of anxiety. So at this point it was from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I was at the hospital on Pitocin. 8 p.m. on Tuesday, the 25th, was when the anesthesiologist finally came in. And once I got the epidural, oh my God, I could like feel like I could calm down a bit. But then what happened is I started shaking uncontrollably and vomiting uncontrollably. And of course, I thought that meant I was in a transition. My doula thought that meant I was in transition. I think the nurses thought that meant I was in transition. I was like, not just having the shakes, but I was convulsing. And on top of that, I was puking uncontrollably. So the doctor wanted me to start pushing, which I shouldn't have started pushing because the baby wasn't stationed at the right spot. So, and this jumps forward to about maybe like 12, no, probably 1 in the morning at this point. Like this is how long this happened. So like I got my epidural at like 8. It took a little bit to kick in. Then I was sitting there just like kind of waiting. And from like, I think like 8 to about when she wanted me to start pushing was like maybe, I want to say like 1 in the morning, because at this first stage where I was pushing for 2 hours and nothing was happening. And I was exhausted because I had not slept already for 48 hours. This was going on 72 hours. And I was like, you know, just tired. Like, it was beyond labor. It was like I was tired, which is why I feel like I should have went to the hospital way earlier. That's one thing the doctor said to me. Like, if you were in early labor, you should have came here and got it kick-started, because you just exhausted your body for no reason, which is why I wish I didn't listen to the doula, and I wish I would have just went and got it kick-started. Anyway, so after pushing for like 2 hours, what started happening was I started getting not just the contractions, like, yeah, the epidural started wearing off, but it wasn't just the contractions, but I had full-on body pain. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever had a fever, like a really bad fever, like COVID, where your whole body feels like it's like weighted down with like heavy like lead. I couldn't even lift my arms up. You know what I mean? I had no strength to like even sit up and push. That's how bad my body pains were. And then they checked my temperature and it was 103 or 104. And at that point, they're like, you have a very high fever. This is very dangerous. So then this abrasive nurse who was there, this nurse, she goes,
okay, well, because you have this fever, the baby could be very, very sick, and you're not going to be able to do skin to skin. We're going to have to take the baby. The baby's probably going to go to the NICU. The baby could have a very serious infection. She's going to have to be treated with heavy antibiotics.
So mind you, she's telling me all this when I've been pushing for 2 hours, nothing's happening, the baby isn't descending, I'm shaking, convulsing, puking, I'm exhausted from a lack of sleep, from having no sleep for 72 hours, and on top of feeling, now the epidural's wearing off and I can feel the heavy Pitocin, because what happens is when you're on Pitocin, when you're going through the pushing phase, they up it. So my epidural's wearing off, I'm feeling that, and on top of that I have severe body pains and chills, like uncontrollably, to the point where like I wanted to die. I was like, this is the worst. It wasn't the labor and it wasn't the contractions that was the worst, it was the fever pains, the chills, everything from having such a high fever. So she's telling me all this right then, and then all of a sudden I get panicked, and I don't know, something switched to me, but like I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna lose this baby too. This is gonna be like, all the worst things went through my head. Probably too because I was sleep deprived and because my body was at the highest level of stress. But having this nurse like just come and say to me, you're not going to be able to do skin to skin, you're not going to be able to do delayed cord clamping, your baby's going to have to go to the NICU, your baby's going to be on antibiotics, you're going to have to feed your baby formula. Like, she was literally telling me, it's like she looked at my birth plan and saw that I wanted to breastfeed, I want to do all this stuff, and she was basically just telling me, nope, your whole birth plan is going to shit, like, you're not doing any of this now, and your baby's at high risk. So then, like I said, I was panicked, and at that point in my mind, I was just done giving. I was like, I don't want to give birth vaginally then. Like, in my mind, I didn't give a shit, excuse my French, about giving birth vaginally. I just wanted that baby out of me, and I wanted her to be okay. Because at this point, I knew that my water had been broken since about 9 a.m. and at this point it was like going on 3 a.m. and I'm worried about, and now I know that the water's been broken for this long, she's been in there, she could have a serious infection, I have an infection, something could be really wrong with her. They're telling me all this stuff. They're even telling me I had to like ship off my placenta somewhere to test it. It was a mess. So at that point, mentally, I gave up. Like, what she did was awful because I mentally gave up on top of everything else my body was going through. Mentally, I was like, I just want to get her out. Give me a C-section. Like, I was done. So they were still trying to get me to push. I mentally gave up at this point. And not only mentally, but like physically. And they're still trying to get me to push, even though the baby wasn't stationed all the way down. And at that point, I couldn't even sit my body up at all. Like, I couldn't even, like, I didn't even have the power to push because of the fever pains. So I said, I don't know why, I was like, I need my epidural upped. I was like, I need it topped off because it's done now and I need it topped off. Somehow I know my body, like, I knew what I needed because it was almost like the pain of the Pitocin, the contractions, the sickness. I just knew that I needed the epidural topped off in order for me to be able to push. And some people might think that's crazy, but like, if you're in a certain level of pain, sometimes you just need that pain blocked to be able to like mentally go through with it. And I guess they didn't want to do that because they thought if they did that, I would not be able to push or do anything. So they were fighting me. So then I was arguing with all these people. There was like two nurses in there, the doctor, my doula, who was not supporting me at all. My husband was great. I just don't think he knew what to say at this point because he's not a medical professional. But at this point, I'm arguing with them and I'm saying, listen, I have been up now for 72 hours. I'm exhausted. I have insane pain from this fever. I need my epidural either topped off or you need to go cut me open and get her out. And they resisted me on everything. But anyway, at this point, I like was mentally giving up and was like, I need you guys to top off my epidural. I knew what my body needed in order for me to complete this task, but they were fighting me on it, I guess because they thought I wouldn't be able to push then. So I'm begging for it, and then I basically just lay there and do nothing. I'm like, I can't move right now. So first, thank God that they finally agreed to get the anesthesiologist to come in. The anesthesiologist came in, topped off my epidural, and I swear to you that it took so long for that epidural, it felt like, to kick in, because it wasn't a contraction pain. It was like full body fever, COVID pains from having such a high grade fever. I was just in misery. So after it finally like kicked in, I rested for maybe like 20 minutes. It was really not long. Everyone left. The doctor left, the nurses left, the lights were off, my doula was sleeping, my husband was sleeping. I just rested for 20 minutes and I was just praying. And then after that, like during that 20 minutes, something just told me like I had to push now. Even though I had the epidural, I woke my husband up. He helped me position my body so I was on my knees and I was like swaying. Something just told me instinctively to do that. And then a really sweet nurse came in and she helped me and motivated me to like, just keep pushing, keep pushing. My husband was great. He was motivating me, telling me like, you're doing great, keep pushing. Like I see like, you know, I see movement happening. I don't know how he saw it, but he saw movement happening. So I just kept going. My doula woke up. She really didn't do much, but like she woke up and something just told me I had to keep going at that time, and I did, and I pushed for another 2 hours. She was born at 5:23. But what's amazing is that doing that thing where I got on my knees must have helped her descend, because as her head came out, I was in a completely another world. She had the cord wrapped around her neck 3 times. Like I have the birth on video, which I'm not going to play here because it's graphic, but the doctor unwrapped her neck 3 times. It was a miracle that like she did not choke and that she was okay. And she shit in me all over, like all over poop everywhere, probably from being in there for so long. And the thing that happened that is sad is that because I had such a high fever, she had to be on IV, she had to be on antibiotics, and because she was on antibiotics, they had to give her formula. They said because they needed to be flushing out of her system. So I guess what normally happens is you put the boob on the breast and they cluster feed and they just get little bits at a time because their stomach is so small. But when you're formula feeding them to try to flush out the antibiotics that you're putting in them for a couple days, their stomach gets big fast. So it made breastfeeding very hard for me. Because on top of that, she had a double tongue tie, like a lip tie and a tongue tie. So she had to get that corrected at the hospital. But it just, the combination of her stomach being so much bigger from feeding her formula for a couple of days at the hospital, combined with her not being able to latch properly to get my milk to come in, was like the perfect storm, which really breaks my heart because that was the one thing I was really looking forward to doing, was breastfeeding. So after getting her latch corrected, the doctor said it would take a couple days for it to get, you know, not a couple days, it would take like a week or something for her latch to get better, and to just keep trying with the breastfeeding. And I did, I kept trying, but the problem is her latch for the first like 2 weeks was so bad that she wasn't getting any milk out. So I just had to pump, and it took me, I mean, I was pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping the first week. It took me like, there was just drops. Like I think I was a week postpartum and there was just drops coming out when I was pumping, barely anything. So she was on formula. I would still try to get her to latch, but like her stomach was so much bigger. Oh, she's awake. From having so much formula beforehand at such a young age that like it was not easy to get her to latch, especially with her, the way her tongue tie was. But then after about the second week, my milk started coming in, so I started pumping, which was annoying because it was pumping every 2 hours. Oh, you can see her little head right there. So I didn't even notice that she was in the frame the whole, I wonder if she was there the whole time. Anyway, I made it very difficult. So then I was pumping every 2 hours, and eventually my milk came in more where I was able to give her breast milk during the day and then formula feed her during the night. And then eventually I got a new pillow, which helped, because if any of you know with breastfeeding, it's like, it's the baby that you have to get into the latch right, then you have to get comfortable in a comfortable position, and it's hard. It's like a hard learning curve. And I got a pillow, it's called my Breast Friend pillow. Amazing. It made it so easy to latch her, but the problem became that she would just get so tired because she didn't train her muscles the right way, and it became a really difficult journey for me and experience for me because I found myself pumping more than I was spending time with her. which bothered me. So I decided to just wean out from pumping just for my mental health. Like, it's just been too much. Like, I wish after I gave birth I was able to put on the boob right away, and I wish it would have went really well and we could have had this breastfeeding experience, but it was like the perfect storm of formula, tongue tie, milk not coming in. So at this point I'm still pumping. You okay, little one? Sorry, I feel better with her in front of me so I can see her. At this point I'm still pumping, but I'm doing it to try to wean. So she's still on breast milk, but she's just also on formula, you know. And a fed baby is a good baby. It's just, I feel like I'm spending way too much time on the pump rather than with her, and that was bothering me. She has a smile on her face. Are you pooping? Are you pooping? You're pooping, aren't you? Oh well, anyway. So I hope that made sense. And then the problem was too is that when you're in the hospital for like anything like that, they come and check on you so much. So like, just picture this. I didn't sleep Sunday night. I didn't sleep Monday night. Tuesday I was at the hospital all day and then in labor and didn't give birth until Wednesday, 5:23 in the morning. Still did not sleep. And then Wednesday everyone wants to come to the hospital and see the baby, which happens. Didn't sleep after that. Your adrenaline's all up. But then by Wednesday night, you have doctors coming in and, well, nurses every other hour just to check your vitals or change your antibiotic bag. And then they moved her back into the room. She didn't end up having to stay in NICU. That nurse was a jerk for saying that. But then they're coming in to take her for her antibiotics. And I was in the hospital Wednesday night then. Again, didn't sleep because they woke me up every like hour. And then Thursday I was up all day. Thursday night, same thing, didn't sleep because they were in there all the time. And then Friday we were supposed to get discharged, but we had to wait for the doctor to do the tongue tie thing on her, and he didn't come to the hospital till 9 o'clock at night. So we did not get home on Friday night until I think like 10:30. Put everything away. Tried to go to bed by like 1, but then we were in the newborn trenches where this little one was cluster feeding and waking us up every 2 hours. So I felt like I was on the brink of death. That's like a week of no sleep. Are you giving me the side eye? She's giving me the side eye. She's giving me such a side eye right now. But yeah. So it was really rough. I was not sleeping. And you don't really know what you're doing when you're a first-time parent. Like, you really don't know. So it's like super stressful, like lack of sleep, and then you're like, they're screaming and you feel so worried, like why are they screaming, and you don't know how to settle them down. And then you're trying to rock them and walk around the house and you're exhausted and it's the middle of the night. And now we have it down pat to now we just know, like, if she did, just feed her. Like, sometimes she's just really hungry. Like, yeah, you might feed her the recommended dose for her age, but she might still be hungry, and that normally works. That's what works for us. But it's a learning curve. Little goopy goober. Let's see if you can say hi. Can you say hi? Are you up? Yeah? You smiling? Are you smiling? She is 5 weeks old now. She is a little goopy goober. Mwah. She's starting to smile. And I know some people say like, oh, that's just gas. No, she reacts. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm just trying to enjoy every single moment with her while she's on all these stages, because I know that you don't get them back. Yeah. And that's why I had to like walk away from breastfeeding, because I wasn't really breastfeeding where like you're bonding with her and like nursing her the whole time. It was like pump sit central, where when I pump, my husband has to feed, and I want to feed her sometimes. You know, I don't want to always be the one strapped to the pump. So we're trying to wean that out, but she's still getting breast milk. Yes, you. But that's the wrap up for now. I just wanted to give you guys an update. I am going to be making a video of baby products that And not a lot, but there's certain ones that I feel like you should have and not waste your money on other stuff, because I ended up buying other stuff after I've already had stuff, right? And there's only like, I think 3 or 4 things that I feel like really, like I couldn't live without them. One of them's a type of swaddle, another one's a baby carrier. If you're nursing, if you are nursing, that My Breast Friend pillow, which I'll just say now, hands down, best ever. But that will be a separate video. And now that I'm feeling a little bit more normal, you'll see me more. On top of that, we have had everything go wrong today. Actually, yesterday it started, our garage won't open, like the electric opener won't open at all. So I can't get my car, I can't get her stroller out. And then today, our hose and like the sink broke. So it's leaking everywhere. It's like now we need a plumber, now we need an electrician. All in the same day. It's awful. Maybe you can hear that part on camera. Yeah, you're doing the poop face. You're doing the poop. Oh, you're pooping all right. This is our poop is. Okay, let's go change it. Anyway, ADD. I'm going to change your baby. I will still see you guys soon. Everything's okay. Baby's great. I'm great. Also, next step is weight loss. I need to get back in shape. I'll let you know how that goes. Because I feel so out of shape. You're just used to like, when you're pregnant, you have a big belly. And like I felt in shape because I was like working out and doing things. But then like the belly deflates and you just feel like you want to get back in shape. So it'll be the next journey. Right, Goopy Goober? Okay. I will see you guys later. The baby says bye. I gotta go clean some poop. So bye.